Hey everybody, it's Jim from Cigars and Other Dude Stuff. I'm starting a new series here within the Cigars and Other Dude Stuff channel, which is going to review entertainment things like movies and TV and stuff like that. And I guess the best way to say what I want to do in these is I'm going to watch this crap so you don't have to. Today we're going to review a couple of male-oriented, really testosterone-driven series. One is on Netflix called Outer Banks, and the other is Tracker on CBS. So let's start with Outer Banks. Outer Banks is really a class war between the haves, which are called the kooks, who are rich and well-to-do people on the Outer Banks, and the pogues, who are the have-nots, kind of the rough around the edges kids. So they're always getting into scrapes and so forth. That's kind of the original premise of the series, but it turns into a lot more because this group of teenagers, and there's 6 of them by season 4, I think they start with 4 in the first season, but this group of teenagers don't know what the heck they're doing, but they manage to fall ass backwards into these treasure hunting schemes, which are very dangerous and very rewarding. And a lot of times they come out on top, and then they either get the money stolen or manage to piss it away somehow and have to embark on another treasure hunting scheme. So if you're looking for the general plot with a lot of romance and action and class conflict thrown in, that's what it is. Well, let's talk about the cast of characters real quick. There's these 6 teenagers that I've been telling you about, and they're the good guys, and there are a bunch of villains thrown in too. But in these 6 are a couple of interesting characters. John B is the leader of the group, so to speak. It's interesting that he is, in season 4, 32 years old as an actor in real life, playing a 20-year-old. He was 28 years old, playing a 16-year-old at one time, but he pulls it off pretty good. But anyway, he is the leader of the group, and he has a treasure hunting background in the sense of his father was a treasure hunter, so he kind of is the impetus to drive them into doing things like that. John B's girlfriend is Sarah Cameron, and Sarah comes from the right side of the tracks, but she jumped ship and went over with the Pogues. And Sarah is the daughter of Ward Cameron, who is the original villain in season 1 and I think in season 2. And then she has a brother named Rafe, who is also completely crazy. These villains are like they come out of central casting. You know who the good guys are and the bad guys are in this series. There's no question about it. The next one I want to talk about in the main characters is JJ. You know, every series has to have what I call a fuck up, a guy who screws everything up, going way back to Gilligan's Island. You know, oh, we're ready to get off the island. Oh, Gilligan did something stupid and now we're stuck here. So you have to have somebody who throws a monkey wrench into the works to create drama and also make sure the plot doesn't move that fast. And that's what JJ does. He's quick to anger. He's impulsive. He's not afraid to break laws. He's always getting into trouble. And he's that guy in the series. Pope, the third male of the group, is the smart one. And every group has to have a smart one in these series too, and that's what Pope is. So Pope is bound for college. He's a middle-class kid, but his parents are having a hard time affording college for him. So he kind of falls in with the Pogues and ends up ditching college and going on this treasure hunting lifestyle. And also we have 3 girls that wear a lot of bikinis, and they're the girlfriends of the 3 main characters, and they're there to keep us guys interested in watching as well. Is this series worth watching? I think it is. It's kind of a fun ride. You got to divorce yourself from reality. I'll give you one example that happens in season 4, is these 6 kids commandeer a little tuna fishing boat on the Outer Banks in North Carolina and cross the Atlantic Ocean to Morocco with not a change of clothes. They do this on the fly, kind of. So no change of clothes, no passports, and nobody brought any cash with them. One of the things I think about in real life, I don't want any kids to watch this and think that you can get away with pulling this crap and come out all right, because it doesn't always end well for them. But speaking of not ending well, season 4 doesn't end very well and kind of sets up a season 5. So you'll bet that the series will keep on going. But overall, divorce yourself from reality, and I think you can have a good time watching the show. So let's talk next about Tracker. Tracker's on CBS and Paramount Plus, based on a Jeffrey Devers novel. Jeffrey Devers is a pretty popular novelist. And the hero's name is Coulter Shaw, and he has a black ops background, and allows him to be a private investigator, kind of a supercharged private investigator, whose specialty is finding lost people, tracking them down. And he does so on a reward basis. So every episode, he's basically on a commission basis. If I find this person, I get this huge reward. That works well for a few episodes, but I'm telling you, within like the third or fourth episode, Coulter Shaw says, "Oh, I don't need the reward on this one." I'm going, "Come on, man, take the money." And I'm sure he has a staff to support too, and I'm wondering what they're thinking. So he has a business manager who kind of directs him and takes care of the payments and stuff like that. Watches his budget, which must be a big job because he spends a lot of money driving all over the country in a big pickup or sometimes in an RV, going coast to coast sometimes, and then says, "I don't want to be paid." So he has his business manager handling that. He also has a lawyer named Rini who apparently is licensed in every state because she doesn't necessarily travel with him, but she pops up all the time. I think he's been banging her, either was banging her back in the day or still is. It's kind of nebulous what's going on there. And then we have Bobby Exley, who is his tech expert. And man, I need a tech expert like Bobby Exley because in every series has these. They always have the action guy who's in action, and then he has these support people that are backing him up and doing the legwork. And Bobby Exley is a cut above as a tech expert. He's a million times better. I think there's actually one episode where there's a phone in the bottom of a lake or an ocean or something, and he manages to get the data that they need from it. So that guy is quite the tech expert. All right, is this a good show? I think it is. You know, Coulter Shaw, I really enjoyed the first half of the first season of it. I think it's in season 2. And what was nice about it is it didn't have that long-term plot that they try to drag through every episode. So he was just going from city to city, finding people and sometimes getting paid. But somewhere along the line, I think it goes back to the original novel. So Coulter Shaw and his brother, by the way, who they introduce into it, has this kind of rough background of his youth being raised by a father who was a conspiracy guy and also a survivalist. And so he taught him how to be real tough and stuff. But it's still a fun show to watch. Lots of action, lots of fighting. Coulter Shaw is like a Superman. He got shot once, I think, in the belly. And 3 hours later, he's having fist fights with guys and rolling around and running through the woods and all that kind of stuff. So he has amazing healing qualities. You got to kind of set reality aside with Tracker, just like you do with Outer Banks. And if you do, it's a fun ride. What I like about it is it's on-demanding. The plot's pretty easy to follow, even when they get into the family stuff. And it's always rewarding. They wrap up stuff usually at the end. So a nice, enjoyable ride that's really entertaining. And it's a popular show. I think it's on Sunday nights on CBS. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this segment of I'll watch this crap so you don't have to. In these two cases, it's worth watching. I will see you next time from Cigars and Other Dude Stuff.